Hey everybody, I'm JD Schomburg from Online Resources here with Derek Miller from Connections XR. So we work together with the virtual reality side of things, and we're here to check out the new Peel 3 scanner. And Derek has a lot of experience with the Spark scanner, so I thought I'm gonna let him run with it and unbox this thing for you guys. So
Sweet.
Enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks,
Derek.
All right, yeah, so yeah, basically as JD said, this is the new Peel 3 scanner. So we're gonna, fresh out of the box, I haven't really played with this thing yet, so we're gonna see what's underneath the hood. All right, so first we have our pretty standard, looks like Pelican case. Not sure if this is standard with the Peel 3D, but like most Creaform products, a good, nice kind of Pelican case, always super handy. Let's go ahead and pop this guy open and see what we have inside. Okay, something new. Looks like a foam packaging inside of it. So maybe I think the foam standard packaging is standard. Maybe this is like a accessory upgrade, but either way, still really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and try to open this guy up. There we go. Super cool. All right, so here is the entire kit. So looks like we have our 3D scanner right here. We have all of our power kits, and let's see what we have in here. Looks like your standard power box and adapter. Okay. And this must be our cord. So this guy, very similar to the Creaform Spark. It looks like this is our USB into our scanner. Into the computer. And this guy is the power cord and aux cable into the back of the scanner. So pretty standard stuff there. Let's see what else we got in here. I don't see the calibration plate, but we'll keep on digging. Let's see, strap, that's kind of neat. Never seen a strap on a scanner before, but could be for the case, could be for the scanner itself. Either way, very cool. And let's keep digging here. Again, our records of calibration. Here's the actual scanner itself. Yeah, this is, wow, really light. It's got a handle, which is pretty nice, pretty ergonomical. Yeah, again, this is, wow, okay, this is really cool. They packed a lot in here, it looks like. I'd be really curious to see how this guy performs. Looks like we have a brand new LCD screen, which is different. I don't think there's been any Peel products or kind of Creaform products that have had this kind of hand built-in LCD screen on the scanner itself. So that'd be really cool to see what that functionality is. Your standard kind of like, looks like your input cables here. This is new too. It looks like a tripod screw-in, which is kind of neat, kind of interesting. We've never seen this before inside of a Creaform or Peel product, so this is really cool. Still looking for that calibration plate. Let's see here. We have some positioning target dots, also pretty nice. Looks like there's a strap here, so pretty cool. Again, calibration plate. I'm assuming it's this bright yellow thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and play with this. Yep, here we go. There's a lock and basically unlock, so I'm assuming push up. Ooh, look at that, that's cool, okay. And voila, there is the calibration plate. So cool, they've kind of hidden it in like a unique kind of interesting spot. I kind of like this design, it's very compact. It's kind of different than what we've seen in the past. So cool, so all right, I'm gonna go ahead and basically set all this guy up, and we're going ahead and basically get this guy going. Okay, so we got our power cord in. Let's go ahead and plug this guy in. So again, if you're not super familiar with kind of Creaform products, with the kind of plugs and kind of cords, they're pretty straightforward. We're gonna put a power cord into your kind of basic power adapter. And I've used these guys overseas. There's a bunch of different like adapters for different kind of outlets, which is kind of nice if you're in like Europe or somewhere else that uses different than like the standard I guess like North American one. Let's try to find me a free USB. We have one there, cool. All right, so we have power. Okay, let's pull back up our case here. pull out our peel. Take our plate up here. Okay, cool. So I'll set this. How do you guys want this for now? Like this? Cool. Okay. Side. Okay, so we have the scanner all plugged in, and she's all powered up. Pretty cool, making sounds like a fan noise in there, which is kind of cool. One thing I did notice different about the Peel than the Spark is there's no kind of heat sink in here, which is kind of interesting. I hear like an actual fan motor, because these things, at least in the past, on the Spark side of things, can get pretty warm. The original Peel 2 didn't really have that, so this would be kind of interesting. So, all right, she's warming up, all right. And over here on the software side of things, I went ahead and I downloaded the Peel 3D software. Again, you can find this whenever you kind of buy your Peel. It should have like an install, basically like instructions on your computer. So I have my scanner plugged into our USB ports, power's plugged in, and I just launched this guy. And immediately right away, I'm seeing that it's basically automatically connected, which is really kind of cool. We haven't seen this before from any kind of Creaform or kind of Peel plot, these kind of products you can just plug and play. So this is kind of cool. So I'm gonna kind of go through this. This is kind of my first time going through. So again, kind of bear with me. So we're gonna do new scan here. One thing that they told us is that this Peel line, they've kind of reworked this entire interface to make it very user kind of entry level friendly. So I'll be really curious to see how this kind of goes. So. Okay, so this is off the bat here. It looks like they're giving us some controls. So they say, tell us about your project. Our object, small, medium, large, detail, output. Again, we can play with this stuff, but we need something to scan first. So we have with us today a Costa Rican tiki mask. I bought this on my honeymoon. So this is a actual legit historical artifact, if you were, or kind of art. It's very colorful, very kind of shapely. Thought it makes like a great example to kind of test out on the Peel. So, all right, we have our object here, and going through the settings here, I'm gonna go ahead and fill these kind of out, these kind of settings out based on what our object is. So it's not tiny, not small, medium. Oh, this is kind of cool. They're giving you like a preview kind of image of how big your object is. So obviously we're not scanning a car, we're not scanning a car seat. So it looks like small here. It's about, looks like they have like a motorcycle helmet, which that's about the same size. So we'll stick with small. Detail, let's see, very fine, fine, normal. So looking at the picture here, just kind of seeing. So I think normal's fine. I mean, looking at this tiki mask, he isn't really super crazy high detail. Like, I mean, there's a lot of like surfaces interesting there, but it's nothing like super rigid, like any kind of bolts or anything like that. And output, I guess we'll just use balance for now, default. Again, we'll kind of play with these, but that looks good there. And surface, this guy's beautiful, luscious color, and we want to scan all that. And that's basically a perk, if you didn't know, is basically this Peel 3D can scan color. And if it's anything like its older brother, like the Creaform Spark, the results should be pretty amazing. So cool. So we have color. It looks like all of our settings are everything that we want here. So I'm going to click the next arrow over. Okay, so it looks like I'm in the scanning session. It's telling me press the trigger button to start scanning. So looking at this kind of LCD interface, this is again new to me, but it looks like we have a play button. I'm assuming that's to actually start scanning. A plus and minus magnifying glass, which I'm assuming is going to zoom us in and out. Not sure what this guy is. We're going to play with that. And the guy there on the corner of the lightning bolt, I'm assuming that's shutter speed, but we'll kind of play with it. So, all right, I'm going to start scanning. I'm going to hit play. Okay, so right away, scanning right away. If you can see on my screen here, I'm going to move them around. So again, I am playing with this. This is pretty cool. I'm going to tap that magnifying glass out just to see what that does. Aha, as I suspected, we are zooming in. Beautiful. That is so cool. All right, I'm gonna just move around my object here. So all the hatch lines going through, it's recreating it. All this beautiful, rich color, getting all that detail, moving around this object here. This is really kind of cool. Around the back side here. So it looks like we have an actual color indicator. So if you're too close to your object, you need to back it up. Green is like the sweet spot, and it looks like if we're going out, we should see blue. Yeah, okay. So pretty typical of the kind of creaform peel kind of like tracking system. And again, you can look at your monitor, see if you're basically too far away or too close to your object. It's pretty cool. Let's see what this square button does. Okay, it'll basically resets our view inside the viewer. So let's say we get like really zoomed in on here, and we start scanning away this table. I can tap this guy, it basically zooms us out and gets us right back in the viewer. So that's pretty cool. And this lightning bolt, we're gonna play with this guy. Let's see what he does. Moon, brightness, I bet that's shutter speed. And I'm gonna pause scanning here. So I'm gonna look at the software side of things. So, okay, as I suspected here, so all of these settings here on the side, start, play, these mimic what looks like that are on the actual LCD screen. So we have reset scan, resume scan. Here we go, it's similar, that same lightning bolt, that is our shutter speed. So we have automatic shutter, dark surfaces, and bright surfaces. So this is actually pretty cool. Like, so for kind of entry-level users, like they make it really simple because shutter speed is one of those things where it's kind of difficult to teach kind of like new scanning users. This makes it very easy. Like, is your part dark? Is your part shiny? Or do you want to let the software do it itself? So cool. So that's kind of neat. They kind of simplified it down like that. Looks like our calibration here. So cool. So I'm gonna again basically continue scanning this guy. So again, very reminiscent of the Spark, but with the kind of hatch line systems, all of that to get all this color in, all that geometry data, kind of moving around different angles, moving those lines, kind of massaging this scan to get every little nook and cranny. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but just to kind of show you very quickly, we're getting all this data. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for now. Okay, we're going to see. Next step. So, all right. So again, we can continue scanning for real, but like this seems pretty good so far. Pretty happy with that. There's some noise in here. So I've been told they come with some CAD kind of like modeling cleanup stuff in here. So I'll be curious to kind of check that out and see what they give us. So let's say we're done scanning, and I'm going to go to this arrow system. This seems to be pretty consistent. This arrow to go to next step. So I'm going to click this and see where it takes me. All right, zoomed in somewhere. Let's zoom out here. Okay, that's pretty cool. So automatically it sends you into, it looks like you can delete the table. So that's kind of cool. So by default, it automatically knows like, hey, we noticed you scanned a table, there's a big flat surface here. You probably want to get rid of that. So that's kind of cool. So I'm pretty cool with that. We can move this guy up or down, it looks like, to modify. Let's see. Yep, we can if we want to raise or lower our table. So I'm good with that. I'm going to hit continue. Okay, so it looks like we have our mask here, and let's see, this is the cleanup phase. So let's go and look at our tools. Let's see what they gave us. So off the bat, reset scan, which would basically wipe our whole scene, but basically keep all of our settings, so we don't want that. Remove isolated patches, these kind of little floaty guys out here, we can kind of play with that if we needed to. Going down the list, these two are grayed out. Remove background, so again, if you wanted to kind of manipulate that table or anything, again, if we click this guy, we get that kind of editor back. And if I hit cancel, okay, wipe takes me out of it. Okay, here they are, our kind of selection tools. So these are the tools that allow us to select certain faces or polygons or areas of our mesh that we want to clean out. So let's say this little piece of noise, whatever this was, the table or the laptop in the background, I'm going to go to our kind of lasso tool, and holding control, I'm going to left click around and drag. So okay, selection works very similar to most other kind of peel products. Whereas if you hold control and click, it can basically isolate and select these faces. And I'm gonna hit the delete key. Let's see if that's okay, yep. Are you sure you wanted to delete? I'm gonna hit continue, yep. So again, selecting the faces that I don't want and hitting delete, hitting them out. So that'll kind of work. We have a bunch of different selection tools here, rectangle selection, lasso, paintbrush. Looks like we have our connect tool. I'll do a connect tool here. So this is going to select our object, and then everything else that's not connecting to this polygonal object, I'm going to delete. And to do that, I would need to inverse my selection. Let's see if they give me that tool. Yep, invert selection right here. Cool, that's what I want. And I'm gonna hit delete again. Clean up this scan, just get some of the noise out of the way. Typically this helps with kind of processing times, make things go faster. So this looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this so far. So I'm gonna hit the next arrow stage. Interesting, it's finalizing my scan, so that'll be, normally this is like a separate out process, but for those of you that are new to the whole kind of finalized process, if you're coming from the kind of Peel 2 product line, basically every time you're scanning, you are getting a preview of your actual scan, and when you finalize, it basically processes up all that preview information to get a nice clean kind of mesh. It's really good when you're on a job site, whereas like the Peel 2, when you're done scanning, it processes all that data right away. Whereas the whole Peel 3 product line, they're basically divvying out that process out so you can scan, and then when you get back to the office, when you have more kind of time, maybe like a faster computer, you can finalize it there. So that's really cool that they actually brought that feature to the Peel 3 product line. So cool, this is the align tool. It looks like we're allowing to all the different like alignment methods here. Again, I'm not gonna do anything fancy, but kind of going through these, it looks like you can you keep it to like a certain axis if you want. If you have like a certain CAD part, or you know like a certain face you want to keep it to. Again, default is fine for this example. I'm gonna hit to the next step, in the improve step. So let's see what they give us here. So distance, so add distance by manually. So this looks like a quick measurement tool. So this is pretty neat. So if it works anything in past products, if I hold control here, and let's say I want to measure from chin to the top of his head, it automatically gives me a measurement of 4143 millimeters, looks like, yeah. So this is kind of cool. Like if you want to do like a quick scan just to measure something really, really quickly, like off the bat, this tool is right here. So that's pretty cool. Close this out. Let's see what else they give us here. Clean mesh. This is actually pretty good to like repair meshes and whatnot. So I'm just gonna say this is pretty cool that they're actually giving you all of this inside. This is the whole VX model portion, and I believe it is an add-on to the Peel product, but any type of like kind of 3D scanning, this is a super, super helpful tool, but it's nice that it's built into this kind of like walkthrough system, which is really cool. So they have a clean mesh method. Looks like they have a fill holes. So I'll go through this guy. So again, any scanning you have, you're gonna have holes. Like there isn't a perfect scan in the world. There's always, you're gonna fill up patches and whatnot to kind of like massage and kind of edit your data. So let's see here. Let's say we have our three different hole fill methods. So you can fill a basic hole, partial hole, and a bridge. So I'm gonna go hunting around here. Let's just find, for those who are unfamiliar, so these areas of pink are areas that are the actual hole. And if I hover my cursor over a hole and I click it, it will, boom, fills that hole. So I'm gonna go through and just, we're not gonna make this watertight, but kind of areas like above his mouth right here. If I were to click this, boom, fills that in very nicely. So we kind of have a good kind of clean mesh going through. Again, this kind of area where looks like it underneath his eye, kind of fill that. Again, a very cool way. So that's just basic fill hole tool. Again, this isn't a full tutorial on this, but let's say like a partial fill hole, or let's do a bridge actually. A bridge is a great example. So let's say like this kind of isolated part, I want to weld it together with this horn here. I'm gonna start from here. I'm gonna bridge this side. I'm gonna go to the other side over here. And boom, bridges those together so you have a nice kind of connection point. So if you're unfamiliar with the whole VX model suite, they have great fill hole tools for your kind of software. It's just really cool that it's included with the scanner. All right, so moving down here, so we have a decimate. So decimate meshes, scan data can be very, very heavy, especially if you're getting into the basically 3D printing side, VR side, where like it's just the meshes are too heavy for your printer to take, or just too heavy for your kind of VR asset to I guess kind of software to take it in. So a simple decimate tool, let's decimate it by, it's like 13%, and I'm gonna hit OK. It's gonna run through and just bring it down a little bit. It shouldn't change much in detail, but just knowing that it's there is pretty cool. Going down, so I have a smooth tool. So they're really giving you a lot of just kind of interesting like mesh editing tools off the bat here. And again, I'm not super familiar with this, but quick smooth, yeah, okay. So I basically can select a region where I want, and based on this threshold, can smooth it. So that's pretty cool if you want to smooth your mesh. Sculpt, so it looks like you can add areas, kind of like your 3D sculpting tool. Again, I'm not gonna go through every single one of these, but just kind of showing you there's some kind of like, you can kind of like massage and kind of edit your scan data like very quickly, like minutes after me scanning it. So cool, let's say I'm happy with this for now. I'm gonna go on to the next step and see what it gives me. Applying texture. Okay, I was wondering when this was going to come in. So it looks like there it is. So now it's mapped my texture back onto my object. And looking in here, I want to see how much detail it's giving me. This is pretty nice. I mean, like all the strands in here, and I'd be curious. There we go. The lighting isn't so blown out. These kind of fine striations, these kind of fine stripes, which typically, especially if you're coming from the Peel 2, that was the area of struggle if you're doing color, is to get those kind of fine texture, that kind of fine text. So it looks like they've brought some of that over from the Spark product line to get really good kind of texture on kind of fine details. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Again, this is a pretty quick scan, but I'm gonna go through the next step here. And okay, the next step is to export. So export my scan to mesh. So this, if I click this guy, they have a ton of different kind of file formats, so pretty predictable. OBJ, STLs, wide variety of kind of stuff here. We'll do like an STL for now. Throw it on the desktop and just start scan one. Hit save here, and oh, this is cool. There's a little checkbox here. Automatically save session when exporting. That is really nice. I can't tell you how many times people will forget to save something or whatever when you go to export. So it's a built-in kind of safety buffer, which I like a lot. Yeah, that's really cool. So it looks like that's it for the whole Peel 3, kind of all in like a nutshell. Overall, I'm pretty cool. So basically, JD, you want to come back? Any kind of thoughts of kind of what you saw?
Yeah, so I like it. There's a lot to it. I think one of the things I really liked was the animations. That like when you hovered over something,
yeah,
it really like explains what you're trying to do. So I think that's just in general, the user interface is really slick. Yeah. I know your bread and butter is color. Yeah. Like you are a texture guy. Yeah. So I know you've had a lot of experience in that. How do you see this moving into like the VR stuff?
Yeah, so it's a very, like, to create any kind of asset inside of virtual reality, let's say you're a tinkerer at home, or you're owning like a studio or any kind of shop, like if you don't have a 3D model of anything you look at, you either have to create it by hand or you just go point out and scan it. So this is a tool that's basically just anything you see, just point out and scan, and you can very quickly get a kind of mesh asset that you can very quickly throw inside of a VR headset, 3D printing or whatever. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it'd be interesting to see, like, to get this in the hands of people at a lower kind of price point than like your typical flagship Creaform products, to see what people do with it, just to get it out there. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Cool. Yeah, and I think this is like a third of the price of the next level up. So that's kind of the view that I'm looking for is it worth it? Do we see that? One thing I was thinking, Sketchfab account, you want to finish this out for everybody and throw it up there, and they can take a look at like what this thing can do at final stage?
Sure, yeah, sure thing.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much. Again, JD Schomburg from Online Resources, Derek Miller from Connections XR, and thanks for joining us today.